The same exact exercises that like Scotty Scheffler's going to do before a round are probably the same that a novice golfer are going to do because it's unlocking the body. If you're going to watch like what they're doing, especially on like full swing and stuff, the tests they're doing probably look a lot more elaborate only because they're working with the trainer. So they have gone from a very simple basic exercise to the same exercise, but it looks more attractive because it's just done with maybe some more tools or in a different fashion.
Hey golfers, do you ever feel like it takes you a few holes to get loose on the course and ready to play? I've always felt this way, and so in today's video I'm teaming up with Chardon Performance Therapy, and they're going to help walk us through a warm-up to help prime your body and get you ready to play your best golf early in your round and not having to wait till the back nine or even the end of your round to really feel good. I always struggled with feeling potentially fatigued and tight early in the round, and I had some friends even feel that as we got later in the round, and that's because our warm-up wasn't sufficient. So in today's video, Chardon Performance Therapy is going to help us walk through that and get you ready to play your best golf. Be sure to like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you're ready for the next video, and be sure to check out the description for Chardon Performance Therapy's website link, and be sure to check them out on Instagram and all the other social medias.
Welcome. My name is Dave Nelson.
I'm Megan Zambori.
And we are physical therapists here at Chardon Performance Therapy. We actually went through the TPI medical route, so we just have a golf performance background and we're able to combine our physical therapy experts when we're working with golfers. There's effectively two types of golfers we work with. One, the golfer that has pain or aches or flexibility issues, and our job is to, one, correct your body, fix it, and to get you back up and running for the golf game.
The other type of golfer we work with is our golf fitness clients. They might have some flexibility or mobility concerns, but their biggest thing we're working on them is their strength and their fitness. Our other type of client is our golf fitness clients. They may have some mobility or strength deficits. The biggest thing we're working on is golf fitness strengthening.
And the way that we love to work with clients is by having them engage with instructors, because we're actually able to collaborate with instructors to figure out what are the techniques that you're working on. And our job is to make sure that your body is in a position to execute on those techniques. So if there is something going on with your body, or if your instructor is telling you you need to go work on this, that would be us. We'll take care of you. Give us a call.
Well, thank you guys for being in the video again. It's awesome. So I had you in a lesson like a few weeks ago. That was a lot of fun, right? And then I worked with you in our clinic, so that was awesome. I've seen you swing with Joe, so that's really good. So you have a pretty unique perspective because you kind of just started golfing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people watching, I get a lot of beginner golfers that watch a lot of these videos. So you're gonna have a really unique perspective in this that you kind of started. So you're like understanding the body movements of golf and then all that. So I think that's really valuable. And then you've been working with golfers for a while, right?
Yeah, several years. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. So a question I get asked all the time is like, how do I warm up, right? Golfers ask me all the time, they're like, hey, when I get to the range, like, how do I go through my warm-up routine? And unfortunately, just because I don't know the body as well, I pretty much tell them like, just start with small swings, maybe do a few stretches here and there, but I have like no insight into that, even from my own game, right? You guys help me with my wrists, and maybe we'll get into that later, but like, I have to prime my wrist no matter what. But the problem is I prime my wrist, but I don't prime like my back, anything like that. So I'd like you guys you can walk me through it. You guys can demonstrate, but like kind of walk through a warm-up style, right? Or not style, but like how a golfer should effectively warm up. I know it may vary, right? For some players, if they like have a back pain or something, I'm not sure, but however you guys think and however you want to jump into it. Let's roll.
The variations, we'll hit that on the head first. The variations are going to be like listening to your body, pain limiting. So these are not supposed to be painful at all. If there is a golfer that is like golfing 4 days in a row, like they're in for a tournament, they're going to spend a lot more time doing a lot of these and expanding on them. If it is, I'm only there Saturday, maybe I'm doing 9 holes, you should do something more than just the orange stick. Like you need to get something else going on. And this is kind of cliche, like I'm a therapist and I have like a band in my hand, but it actually will be beneficial when we're getting into like just warming up how your shoulders should work.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the most overused area of the body. So using a band to help get that thing warmed up would be really good.
Yeah.
So there are 3 effective areas that we're going to talk about as far as stretching goes: the spine, the shoulders, and then the hips. So we'll let Megan get get us started.
So I think one thing that's important when we say stretching, we don't want to do any long duration held stretches before we're doing any physical activity. We want to save those for after. You become weaker from a long held stretch for 7 minutes is what the data shows. That will make you more prone to an injury if you're sitting and stretching your hamstrings before going and doing any exercise. So I like active movement type of mobility, quote unquote, stretches versus, just sitting and stretching.
I think that's something you see on like the driving range, right? You see like a middle-aged guy get up there and they lay on the ground and everyone's like, oh, look at that guy, he's really going after it and stretching. But like you just kind of blew that up, right? That's not probably an effective way to do this, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
What's kind of the first warm-up move you want to get into? What do you guys think?
We'll start with the spine.
Do you want me to demonstrate? Do you want to try and show? Do you want to demonstrate and have me try it, or what do you think?
I mean, I feel like we'll voice them through, like I'll speak through it and like instruct you. That way it'll pick up on extra little tidbits that we might correct people on. So I would say the best one to start is the classic cat-camel. So I have a couple of extra tips for that move versus what most people might normally do. So you're going to go on the floor, go on all fours, hands and knees.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead, do it right now.
Really
There's good.
on all fours. All right.
So go on all fours. You're going to imagine as you drop your belly, you're looking up to the sky. A lot of people miss their head on this exercise. Then you reverse, round the spine and the hips. So tuck the hips. Awesome. Keep on going. So inhale as you look up and exhale as you look down.
Good. It was an inhale as you look up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was opposite when I was doing it. Like that was the
Really?
opposite thought. I was thinking like the other way. So that makes sense. So inhale as you kind of start looking up and kind of bring the belly closer to the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And the thought with that is anytime you're compressing your stomach, you're blowing out the air through the diaphragm. And anytime you're expanding, you're making space for air. So that's a Pilates principle. They also say any breathing is a suggestion. So if you prefer it another way, you're more than welcome to, but that would be standard.
That makes sense after you say it. When I set up in there, I was like, I did the complete opposite, and then I heard you. I'm like, and I switched and cut a little bit. So that's like this is what kind of the first primer would this be priming the lower back per se?
The entire spine.
Just the entire spine.
Yeah,
Okay.
think of like the spine is like a door hinge. If it's a little bit rusty, how do you want to get that rust out of the door hinge?
Yeah.
Kind of just open and close several times. And so that's what we're doing to the whole spine. It's a good way to get fluid actually into the spine.
Yeah.
That helps lubricate all the joints.
Yeah, I see Joe. Talk about Joe. If you guys haven't seen the videos, there are other ones, but he teaches you, but you guys help him
Yes.
here with like strength and speed and all that. Whatever Joe wants.
We effectively whoop his butt getting towards speed, but we always begin with we have to stretch before we get rolling because the body has to be as mobile as it possibly can to then execute on the powerful movements we're trying to do.
I will say, give Joe credit if you watching this. I saw him doing what you just did just the other day.
I almost don't believe you, but that's awesome.
I'm proud.
Well, like I was teaching the other day, and I looked back and what's this guy doing? And then I was like, oh, okay.
That's great. It takes time, but when you put in the time, you do get rewards, and you will see the data. It'll show more distance on the course. It'll show more accuracy and definitely more consistency.
And you feel better, right?
Yep.
I mean, you won't get like tightness and stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So any more on that part, or do you want to move into the next movement?
Yeah, we'll do a next move. So that's more flexion and extension. We want to make sure we're including rotation also. So an easy one to do is thread the needle. So you're down on all fours again, and you're going to reach up to the sky with one hand. Make sure your head follows your hand wherever it goes. And then, your arm can bend, the down arm can bend so that shoulder goes all the way down towards the floor. Yeah, I really feel that stretch through your spine. Again, the breathing on this one would be inhale, reach to the sky, exhale, down and rotate.
We get asked all the time, like, how many should you do? How long should I be doing this for? And really, like, you can make up the numbers. Just do it, period.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We tell people that with lessons too. They're like, like step drill. You know, like how many should I do when I warm up? I'm like, I don't care if you do like 4 or you do 50, right?
Just do it.
Like you just gotta, yeah, exactly. You just gotta do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that one was great. What would be the next one?
So next we can move into hips. I like to do a Z sit with some switching side to side. That way you're getting the internal rotation and the external rotation on each hip. So sit like a Z, and then you're just going to rotate and switch sides. Try not to use your hands. Give it a little bit more of a core challenge.
This look good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Dude, I actually just saw an NFL team, a whole entire NFL team, getting prepared for spring season, and they were doing this on the field.
Oh, okay.
They had their hands out, and they had to do this extremely slow. It was very fascinating to see.
Yeah, that controlled rotation.
Yeah, to see like high-end athletic, football players, the whole entire team doing that, and it's a struggle. It's very, very hard.
Do you guys find like you like when I teach golf and tell people, like I have them walk through the movements usually like slow. So I'll say like start at 5% speed, walk through it, right? And then gradually increase speed as you get used to it. So like you just said, like you saw the football team doing very like controlled and like I don't know if isolated is the right word, but like a controlled movement.
Yeah.
So like in all of these exercises, should they be worried more about like doing it slow and very methodically, or should they be just get the reps in, basically?
I would say controlled would be more or less the correct term that would control the speed. The way that I was seeing this video being done, it was actually taking a stretch and turning it into a core and hip mobility challenge,
Okay.
or like an exercise.
Yeah.
So that's why they were doing it really slow. And it's really hard. So I think if you're after mobility, there needs to be a level of like dynamic movement.
Mhm.
But if you're after like, let's make this a core task, then you have some options. Either add resistance or change the speed.
Yeah.
Either make it a lot faster, or in their case, it was like a lot slower.
I find like when I work out myself, like I have to like stop myself. Like I go through too fast, right?
Mhm.
Don't like I remember in college when for workouts for the golf team, like our instructor was always like strength and conditioning coach was always like making us do it like real slow and like make sure we're doing the rep really well. And like when I'm lifting on my own recently, I'm just like going way too fast for all of this. And like I don't know if like is that something people need to worry about like injury wise too? If they start doing something like too fast, I guess you'd say.
There is like so a classic word that a PT will say is it depends. It really depends on where they are in their journey.
Okay.
So if under guidance, usually a professional will tell them like, we need this to be very fast or we need this to be slow. Typically, when we're working on speed training or movements that are really, really fast, it's going to be after there's a strength base because your body knows how to handle. It has musculature, it knows that movement already.
Yeah.
And now we can move a lot faster. And when we're moving a lot faster too, we're actually reducing a lot of the weight
Okay.
because that way your body can actually move faster.
Oh, okay.
So
Very cool.
Yep.
With are there any more stretches you want to?
yeah, there's one more with the spine, and it's going to be just a classic, like either pressing all the way up onto your hands or just on your forearms.
Oh.
And this is one where you could spend a little bit of time here. I would say like 30 seconds, but we do need to open up the lumbar spine, which is probably the number one thing that we see is in terms of injuries go is the lower back. There is a particular population that this would not be a good idea for, and that would be someone who has a lot of pain if they are walking for a duration of time. So if they struggle walking, and typically it's going to be someone that's going to be in their older population, 70s, 80s. If they require a cane to like help them be upright, they're probably not going to be the right person to bend backwards.
Yeah.
Everyone else, if you can walk and stand and you don't have back pain when you're walking and standing, you should actually be doing this task for the most part. Yep.
Is something I see all the time, like in therapy or personal training or whatnot. People go through like the movements we just went through. Are there different like levels we'll call to that? So like there'll be like a level 1 for someone, a level 2, and a level 3, or is like are those just really good overall core to just do? Just like because in golf I get asked all the time, like I can have level 1, 2, 3, even 4 drills, right? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, so I would say you have ways to modify any of these exercises, especially if say you're out on the golf course and it's a little bit muddy that day, you might not want to get on the floor and do these, or if you're someone that has trouble getting on the floor, if there's a mobility issue there, you can always go on the side of the cart and do your thread the needle. You can do the cat cow just with your body. You can do extension just pressing on a wall. So that's a way to modify, especially if you're someone that doesn't have the room. The other thing for the hip internal rotation, if the hip switches are too much for someone, there's other ways to do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
If I could help answer your question
Yeah.
too, expand on that. The same exact exercises that like Scotty Scheffler's going to do before a round are probably the same that a novice golfer are going to do,
Yeah.
because it's unlocking the body. If you're going to watch like what they're doing, especially on like full swing and stuff, the tasks they're doing probably look a lot more elaborate only because they're working with the trainer. So they have gone from a very simple basic exercise to the same exercise, but it looks more attractive because it's just done with maybe some more tools or in a different fashion.
Yeah.
But like it is stretching, and we're attacking the same muscle groups or the same joints,
Yes.
and that's it. So I would say there's no different levels that someone should be at. Just modifications you need to make if you're feeling something.
Perfect. Okay, that makes sense. I like the muddy ground. That'll
Yeah.
save a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
It's also become a fashion trend now. So
For sure. And then, how often do you see anyone up on the driving range actually stretching like this? Typically not.
Yeah.
On the putting green, you should see people more often than not actually stretching like this. Only because if you're working on your putting game, you're bent over for like a long time,
Yeah.
45 minutes if you're actually serious about your putting.
Yeah.
So you're just bent over for a long time. And anyone that's like scratching their head saying like, why am I hurting? I'm just working on my putting game. I would tell them just like stand bent over for like a minute and just let me know how you feel.
Yeah. Right.
So we just need to take a chance to just like counteract what we just did
Mhm.
and kind of balance our body out.
I think sometimes you see someone like hold a club up here and they kind of move back that way. But you showed me this back when we did our short performance, like with the Linksman house.
Yep.
I actually liked how you were like placing your hands in your back. Is
Yep.
there like I guess just specific spot?
Oh, you know what? For some people there is, and
Okay.
if there is a particular person that there is, that's because we have identified there is a spot in your back that does not move. So for them, there's a spot. But for general population, it's just really the smaller your lower back.
Okay.
But what happens when you put your hands back there? It acts as a fulcrum, so that allows us to be more specific and bend there, as opposed to like the rest of our body.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to isolate that spot.
So I guess like a good message like through all this is like just like people need to change how they warm up and change how they approach a round, right? I don't play as much as I'd like to, but like if I had these warm up routines right when I was playing in college, right, I feel like I would be more prepared for the round, because the thing I hated in college is like some days we were playing a 36 hole event, right?
Yeah.
Like just in one day. So
Right.
we 18 and 18, right? The thing I hated is like, I hit range balls and I think I was getting warmed up, but then it's like I'm like 9 holes in, I'm still like feeling like I'm not like with it, or I'm still stiff or whatnot. So this can really, I know people aren't out there playing 36,
Yeah.
18 back to back, but at least this would kind of prime their body. Does that kind of make sense?
For sure.
Yeah.
And also like that example, what are you doing in between those two rounds, right?
Yeah.
Grabbing a bite to eat. Now we're not talking about nutrition here. That's a totally different topic, but what are you eating during that time? But what position are you in when you're eating?
I was probably either up on my bag, hunched over, or
Right.
sitting down.
Or sitting down. In your sitting posture, very likely like crap, because you just played 18 holes. So there that is a moment of like, after you're done playing, you still need to take care of your body. And to sit like crap or to go home and just like totally lounge is not the right way to go. You
Yeah.
just ask your body to do a lot of work. Doesn't mean you need to do a workout, but some of those basic intro stretches
Yeah.
would be totally fine. The stuff that involves being on the ground,
Yeah.
hit some of those up, can almost guarantee you that next morning you'll be like, I could do it again.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you'll wake up the next morning and be like, oof, I don't know if I can play another 18 today.
But yeah, that was the hardest thing. It was like 36 back to back, and then we go and have to play 18 the next day, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, right? And one of the events in South Carolina, we had to walk that. So like the other ones, we actually have to ride carts, which was great. But like you said, you're sitting, right, driving a cart the whole time. But
Yeah.
like we had to walk all that, and it was rough. It was really rough. I will say, Joe complimented you a few weeks back. Actually, you came in for one of your lessons, and he's like something he basically never sees is like you in our extra space with the linksman. Like you started like stretching, warming up, like priming your body, and Joe like. I remember it was. I came in shortly after that or something. And he told me about it. He's like, "Yeah, he's like, I've never seen it."
Yeah, he said I've never seen anyone warm up that long in here before.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was actually really cool because another golfer was on the simulator and he came up to me after and he said, because I saw you stretching, it reminded me to do my stretches before I left today.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, like, yeah, I mean, like anybody that watches this, like you just said, if you just do it on the range, maybe your buddy will do it, right, or someone else will do it. So that's really awesome. So,
You know, to that, we could make an assumption that, like, look at Megan. Does she really need to stretch before doing something? Her body's telling her that it does.
yeah,
And so that allows her to operate at the level that she wants to. So it does not matter what age you are, what type of level you are. You should actually take care of your body prior to doing an event. You will see the result. You will see the results on the course.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
actually that day, my SI, which is a chronic underlying thing that I have, it was bothering me a little bit. I stretched a whole bunch, did my mobility, and I felt really good even before I stepped on the mat to start swinging, and I had no issues afterwards. I actually surprised myself with how good I felt.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So that time saved you any type of like mental, but like mental lapse almost in the lesson. So like I've talked to you guys a lot about my wrist. We can get to that maybe later, but like if I knew like I didn't prime my wrist right and get it ready for the day, right, and if I was in a lesson or playing around, like it would be on the back of my mind, right? So like that would almost be on the back of your mind. But if you don't feel it, nothing ever comes up until afterwards. You're like, oh, that was great. I didn't feel that. So
Yeah.
I think that's really good. I think if people can just apply these warm-up principles, that'd be awesome, right? Is there any last piece we want to add in, or you guys?
So hip,
Oh yeah. So it's just in like a
almost a lunge position. The biggest thing I see folks do is like the front foot's not very far forward. So get it far forward, lean into this. You can put your hand like on the small of your back there and be tall.
all right.
And then you actually may not know like exactly what we're trying to work on stretching, but I want you to like lean forward and then let me know what do you feel is like under tension right now or stretching.
Like want to feel like my back goes back a little bit as I do this.
Sure.
Like that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like from here down almost.
It's almost like compression there.
Yeah.
Get your front foot a little bit farther forward. Yep. And I want you to get to a point to where you feel like your leg that has your knee down, so your right leg there, where you just like forward and just like shut off the muscles in your leg right there. And then what do you feel is like under tension now?
I don't think I'm doing a good job of shutting off.
Okay.
I still feel it in there.
So you're actually touching like your quad.
Yeah, I'm feeling like down into here.
So good quad, and then you should feel some in your groin. That's your hip flexor.
Yeah, up in this area.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're getting a quad stretched out. We get the hip flexor stretched out.
Okay.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good, really good one to stretch, especially like what do most of the golfers out there, like if you're going to say, if you're going to pick a golfer off the golf course, what is their job? What are they doing? What kind of position are they in during the day?
A lot of them are sitting, right?
They're sitting,
right?
Yeah. So if you're sitting, you're actually shortening your hip flexor. So those suckers are just holding you back from being upright or even backwards.
Oh,
This is a really good stretch to help get that sucker elongated.
yeah. Because I mean, I give people. It's kind of crazy. You actually see people. I can actually see someone come in the door, and I could probably like just by how their body is shaped.
How they're moving?
I can
Yeah,
tell
sure.
that they're probably an office person.
Yep.
That makes sense. Like they kind of have like their upper part of their back a little slouched almost, right?
And be like, so here
Yeah,
and then here.
yeah, for them. Yeah.
So this would be that person just walking
Yeah.
in. Yep, I'm ready
Yeah.
to go.
Exactly. When they come in, you can almost.
And then this guy here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but this here.
Rounded, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that actually gets us to our last, our last area, shoulders. Band, it's coming to you. So just some very easy, basic things. We'll actually take the band, keeping your elbows straight, just bounce it off your chest. The focus, we can actually isolate using your upper back. If you could focus on those shoulder blades moving a lot, that's what we're trying to work on
I
warming
feel
up.
like almost like pulling them together. Pinch it.
Perfect. That's fine. Yep. At the same time, your chest is like puffing out. And then we would go ahead and go at like a diagonal.
I would not have thought of that.
Yep.
I'm feeling that a lot in my right shoulder.
Okay. So
Good.
this is where I would challenge you to see, can you feel it more in your upper back movement as opposed to just like your shoulder joint itself?
Yeah, I'm trying to feel like I open my chest more.
Good.
Doing for them.
Yep. Then we do the opposite direction. And I would say we've done like maybe 8 pumps, maybe 10, 12 pumps on like each side. And once you do like that amount on each side, all these directions, your shoulders should feel a little bit tired right now.
Yeah.
And like that was like really simple, really easy to do. So now
Yeah.
your shoulders are warmed up.
Yeah, the resistance there was great too.
Good.
Just feeling it pull back. I use some resistance bands in teaching as well
Okay.
for that. I really like that. But any other ones you can think of before we?
Those are the best. I could take this if you're actually going to do this, which is excellent. There's one last piece you could do to kind of tie everything else in. Take the band, elbows straight, get it like 6 inches away from your chest. Get down into your iron stance. What I want you to do is like a pendulum, just go through full rotation. And this is one where like make sure you're using your whole body and pretend there's a golf ball on the ground right in front of you. Keep your eyes on that golf ball. And what's really interesting when working with clients, going through this warm up and utilizing this particular movement, they can make it a little bit more specific to their swing characteristics that they're trying to make sure they do.
Okay.
So a good example would be a lot of people will struggle with like shifting their weight from one side to the other side or transferring their weight. So you could really focus on transferring that weight. If you're a person that is trying to work on the flow, you could add in the flow of this while you're working. Like you could do a lot of different things with this.
Yeah, getting the pressure, the pushing back and forth. Yeah, that'd be really
It's just going through the motion, kind of feeling that flow because you just unlocked everything. Go through that motion. Let's hit the bag.
Yeah, I really liked everything that we did. Just like you said at the beginning, like it was like active, right? We weren't just like sitting there like stretching, right? Like
That's
the
boring.
old stereotype, right? I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really like just active. I really like the band stuff there. I have a bunch of these bands at home, so I'll probably.
Fits right in the bag somewhere around in there.
It's better
So-
than I love my golf forever. It's like this whole unit I have to carry around, right?
Yeah.
And one last thing, kind of as we wrap up, the Players Championship is going on this week. This video will probably come out slightly after that. But one thing that was really cool is like when you saw these guys walking in, Ricky Fowler, I'm pretty sure had a golf bag, a backpack, and then I think it was training equipment. Like he was carrying duffel bags. Yeah.
That's cool.
But then after him, they keep showing the cycle of players. And like Scotty walks in with a bunch of stuff. Every guy was like coming in with like loads of stuff, or their
Yep.
caddy, right?
Yep.
But like they're coming with loads of stuff. So it shows you how much these guys are preparing, getting their bodies ready. I've heard guys on the PGA Tour, they're working out pre-round and
Yes.
post-round.
Oh yeah,
Maybe not a workout, but like you said at the beginning, like I don't know what to call it.
it is. There are particular scientific ways to go about priming the body. So
Yeah.
they actually are going through a workout routine prior to hitting the course because they're warming up all the tissues. We have a rubber band in our hand, right? If this rubber band was brand new right out of the package, what is the integrity of the rubber band? Is it cold? Is it warm? Does it move? Is it flexible? No, it's cold. It's not as flexible. If we want to use it, just think about any kind of rubber band you use. You're going to warm it up. You're going to stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. And now, what can you do with this? It's warm. It can be mobile. It can do what you need it to do. That's how they're actually taking care of their body prior to hitting the course.
Yeah,
So they're getting sweaty. They're like slamming the ball on the ground. They are moving aggressively
yeah.
because they're unlocking their body so that now when they're actually on the range then warming up, their body's going to do exactly what they want it to do. It's unlocked.
Yeah, I think it's like Tiger like got tons of credit back in the day, right? For like he worked out crazy, right? And not a lot of guys that we knew of really did it besides him. And now it's like you go to PGA Tour event and everything I've heard, the gyms are just packed at these places.
Yes.
Right? These guys are like putting the time in. Players are faster than ever, longer than ever, right? It's like
Yep.
to compete on the PGA Tour, you pretty much have to hit it 300 or more, right?
Yes.
Swinging 115 plus. Well, 110 you probably get away with, but like it's crazy where physical fitness side is taking over golf, and I thought growing up, people would always be like, I didn't get it too much, but like people would act like golf wasn't necessarily a sport, or like you know what I mean? Like it's like my sisters are cheerleaders, and people say the same thing to them, right?
Golf's not a sport.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then now, like it's completely changed.
Holy
the
cow,
dynamic,
right.
Like you look at Brooks Koepka, the dude's like a physical, like he's a freak, right? Dustin Johnson, freak. Like some of these guys are just like they can play other sports eventually. So I think
Yeah, it is.
this was really great. The warm up section here, and then we're gonna be diving in. It's gonna be split into probably 1, 2, or maybe even 3 videos, depending on how much we get in. So just make sure you stay tuned, turn on notifications, follow these guys on Instagram. Definitely hit them up, and we'll roll on to the next one. So sound good?
Excellent.
All right.